All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to be detectives cracking open a case that's been debated for centuries. It's a logical puzzle where the entire verdict hangs on just a few words. So let's just start with this question. How much can a single word, or maybe a few words, really matter? In a legal contract, a line of code, or even an ancient religious text. Can a tiny change completely flip the meaning of everything? Oh, you better believe it. And to prove it, we're cracking open this 1,500-year-old case file straight from the Talmud. We're going to follow the clues, piece by piece, to solve a mystery surrounding two of the greatest ancient sages. Okay, so our story kicks off with this, super specific argument about sacrificial rituals in the ancient temple. The big question was, how do you prove that the leftover blood from a certain offering absolutely has to be placed on the base of the altar? And the whole argument rests on this really powerful form of logical reasoning. This kind of logic has a name, a calvachomer. You might know it by its fancy Latin name, an a fortiori inference. But the idea is actually beautiful in its simplicity. It's like saying, hey, if this is safe enough for a child, it's definitely safe enough for an adult. What's true for the lesser case must be true for the greater one. Simple, right? Okay, and this is where the mystery really kicks in. Take a look at the slide. We've got two brilliant rabbis, Yishmael and Akiva. They're making the same point using the same logic, but look really closely at what Rabbi Akiva says. He adds those three little words, and does not come for atonement. Why? Why would he do that? What was he trying to fix or clarify? This is the puzzle at the heart of our case. So for hundreds of years, nobody could quite figure out why he did that. The reason for that difference was a total mystery. That is, until two later sages, our lead detectives, if you will, stepped onto the scene to try and crack the case. So let's meet them, Rav Ada and Rav Papa. Now, each one of them looked at that tiny little difference in wording and came up with a totally different theory about what those original rabbis were really arguing about. And this slide right here, this is the core of the whole investigation. All right, so Rav Ada, his theory was that the whole argument was about whether pouring that leftover blood was an absolutely essential step. You miss it, the whole sacrifice is worthless. But Rav Papa, he completely disagreed. He argued, no, they both knew it wasn't essential. He thought Rabbi Akiva's extra words were actually a signal about a totally separate argument, one involving a bird offering. So you see, two wildly different theories, all because of one tiny phrase. Now, to really get this, you need to know this one crucial legal term. It's me'akev. It basically means disqualifies or invalidates. It's that one step in a process that's so critical, so essential, that if you skip it, the whole thing is ruined. It just doesn't count. And here's a super simple way to think about it. Imagine you're baking a cake. Forgetting to add the flour, that's me'akev. The process has failed. You don't have a cake, you've got a mess. But what about forgetting the sprinkles? Well, that's not me'akev. You still have a perfectly good cake. So was this leftover blood the flour or the sprinkles? That's what Rav Ada thought the whole debate was about. So who got it right, Rav Ada or Rav Papa? Well, like any good detective story, to solve the case, we've got to find more evidence. We need to dig up some other ancient text that can shine a light on what was really going on back then. And as luck would have it, there is a key piece of evidence. It's something called a baraita, which is just an ancient teaching from that same time period. And this text, this is the clue that's going to blow this case wide open. Okay, now get this. The Baraita brings up the exact same question that's at the heart of Rav Ada's theory. It literally asks, what if you thought that failing to pour this leftover blood was a disqualifying act, that it was me'akev? This is getting good. This ancient text is wrestling with the exact same problem. So this is it, right? The big question. Does omitting the leftover blood invalidate the whole thing or not? Is it the flour or the sprinkles? Well, this ancient text gives us what you might call the smoking gun. And here it is. The Baraita actually quotes a verse straight from the book of Leviticus. It explains that the atonement is officially considered complete after the main blood sprinklings, but before the leftover blood is even poured. And then it drops the final verdict. All the atonements are completed. So let's just walk through the logic here. If the Torah itself says the atonement is already done, then how could pouring the leftover blood be an essential make-or-break step? It can't. It's an important final touch, sure, but it's the sprinkles, not the flour. But here, and this is the real kicker, the absolute bombshell, the Baraita says this teaching comes from Rabbi Ishmael himself. Wow. Okay, so that changes everything. With that one piece of evidence, all the clues just snap right into place. We can finally say it, case closed. I mean, the evidence here is just undeniable, right? Rav Akkada's entire theory was built on the idea that Rabbi Yishmael thought the leftover blood was essential. But this text proves he taught the exact opposite. Rav Akkada's theory is completely demolished. And that can only mean one thing. Our other detective, Rav Papa, was right all along. All right, let's just recap how we cracked this thing one last time. Step 1, it all started with the puzzle of Rabbi Akiva's extra words. Step 2, our detectives, Rav Ada and Rav Papa, gave us two competing theories. Step 3, we found the smoking gun, the Breita, that showed us what Rabbi Yishmael really thought. And step 4, that evidence leads us straight to the verdict, confirming Rav Papa's theory was the right one from the very beginning. So there you have it. That little difference in wording from Rabbi Akiva, it wasn't just him being extra careful. It was a huge signal that he and Rabbi Yishmael, while they agreed on this particular point, actually had a major disagreement about a completely different ritual. The mystery is finally solved. What an incredible piece of intellectual detective work, right? And it really leaves you with a bigger question. What does this ancient, intense search for logical precision teach us about our own world? About our modern legal systems, our scientific methods, even our computer code, where just one misplaced comma can change everything. Hey, thanks for coming along on this deep dive with us. As always, stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next Explainer.